Welcome to Cut Daisies and Unicorns, and this is a Trailer Friday, and we're glad to welcome you in and glad to welcome you back. We had a shorter period of time, a little bit of a break between Season 3 and Season 4, and that is so that we can work on that timetable to make sure that we finish on a timetable that gives a little bit of a pause in the holiday season. So, Steve, welcome back.
Ho, ho, ho. This is my refreshed face. I'm looking right into the camera. It's hard for me to be able to operate the switcher, look at the display monitor, and at the camera directly. So that's why, you know what? We'll hone our skills in year number 2, but we're still working this stuff out. So anyway, but yeah, I'm refreshed. I need breaks. And even though it was a brief break, I'm telling you, it was enjoyed. Much was accomplished, but I'm super happy to be back. I'm happy to be back. Happy that you're here listening to the sound of our voices.
Mm-hmm.
And
through your ear holes.
Yeah, yep.
You've received the sound wave.
And we're going to talk about sugar a little bit in this upcoming episode. And so, hey, we love to be your ear candy. Mm-hmm. It's okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even as Matt uses us as a sleep aid.
Yeah. Yeah. We can balance all of the responsibilities that are happening through the audio waves and the video waves. Hi. Glad to have you here.
Yo.
Hey, so I was going to tell you, I got a favorite new drink.
Yeah?
Uh-huh.
What is it?
San Pellegrino.
Yeah?
Lemon mint.
Lemon mint.
It's very refreshing.
Huh.
Fresh. Minty fresh.
Minty fresh. So lemon mint.
Yeah. So you got to trade some calories because this is not something that is sugar-free. When I consider it to beer calories, you could have 3 of these to one good ale. Like hopped up version of the heavies. But I've every once in a while, water gets a little blandish, but I don't want to, don't want to jump in and go back to drinking pop all the time or anything like that. And so, yeah, I carry a 6-pack of that up in the little red fridge, and if I'm like in the afternoon, and because I got to watch my caffeine intake. Yeah. And so, I go with a lemon mint, and for those who are dollar-wise, price-conscious, it's probably about $1.25 for a little 8-ounce can. So it's but I mean, hey, for those of you drinking beers, that if you're at a concert, you'd spend 8 times that amount for a beer. So,
sure.
There are alternatives. Not every situation or occasion is time for a beer.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you ever dove into the kombucha market?
You know what? It scares me.
Yeah? How come?
Now, my mom would be able to speak more about this because she is a naturalist and appreciates the idea of what live enzymes can do for your stomach health. And so kombucha would be that. And I don't know. I just haven't been able to move to that direction.
Have you tried them before? Or
Never.
Okay.
But versus, have I ever tried sour beer? Yes. What does it taste like to me? Bile. It tastes like throw up. Apparently, I haven't had the right sour beer.
No, there's some people who don't enjoy sour beer. So
yeah.
I mean, and there's some sour beers that I'm like, ooh, like I agree with you.
Yeah.
But there are good ones out there. There are some good ones, but it also could be depending on flavor palettes and all that other stuff. So.
Yeah. Well,
but the reason why I asked about kombucha was just because it is more of a natural. I mean, and there are some kombuchas that will have like, some additives for picking people up. Like it gives a little pep in the step.
Yeah.
And it's all natural pieces. But it all comes from what they, like the mother tongue, right? Because there's like the
mother,
there. Right?
Yeah. It's very much like if you look at vinegars, and so there's white distilled,
right?
Which means anything that was living has been removed, like a distillery,
right?
And then you have apple cider vinegar. You can have distilled apple cider vinegar, and then you can have the all-natural apple cider vinegar, which a mother will actually be present. Yeah, yeah. And so...
Yeah, and apple cider vinegar can be used for all kinds of good stuff.
Medicinal.
Right.
Very, very medicinal. Like some people swear by it.
Right.
For heart health, I prefer an all-natural pomegranate juice over apple cider vinegar. I hear that apple cider vinegar is really good for your heart health.
Yeah.
But
I've had some good, I mean, I'm not definitely not an expert in the kombucha market, but I've had a few across the board, and I mean, people like my wife, hate it. She's like, oh, something, it's
yeah.
It has there's some spice in there as well. I mean, I drink one that was a ginger. Has some ginger in there, and ginger has spice. There's a bite to it.
You're playing right into me, because what I was going to tell you is if I want to get my ginger in anything, I'm getting a roll of sushi, and I'm having pickled ginger on that, and I'm doing the same thing, but different.
Right. And pickled ginger is good too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I had one recently. It was like a cranberry, which again is also apparently good for
your kidneys and your liver.
Liver.
Yeah.
Flushing things out.
Yeah.
So I just brought that up as also another possible way of which some like kombuchas also can be expensive too. So,
yeah. And there is an alcohol content.
There can be. Yep.
Mm-hmm. But not in all.
I don't know. Maybe.
Huh.
Maybe I just haven't ever.
I would say for anyone who's struggling in the area of chemical, and before you would take the lemon mint is non-alcoholic.
Yeah.
And but definitely check the label. Yeah. So I mean, for people who don't care and don't struggle, no worries.
Right.
Dive in. Take a kombucha dive.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just threw that out there when you mentioned the Pellegrino one, but
new drinks.
new
And then
possibilities.
Then you can come back to the very basic and essential. Agua.
Well, I just looked at the probiotic. I know.
Yeah.
You talked about gut health and
yeah.
And water is still good for you.
Right.
So there's nothing going, stripping things back and going to water.
Yeah.
But as you mentioned, sometimes it's just a little flat. You need some pep.
Yeah. And you know what? If you're wondering of what in the world could these two guys talk about on season 4, episode 1, we talk about additives.
We do.
And so we're working through that. We're still on the additive section of life. And so, and if you're like, I don't even know what to expect. And I'm like, you know what? We probably moved through everything from the drug cartel of Phil and Steve and our varied knowledge in regards to that, all the way through. We come into a holistic understanding of what it could look like. ... I mean, it's all about additives.
Right. And then Steve brings in a beautiful imagery.
Well,
still sticks with me. So it's something that you'll want to listen to that imagery, because I think it is. Yeah, it is some good stuff there.
Yeah, it was a good conversation. Hey, so this is Friday,
right?
When you're hearing our voices right now, it is. It's going to be. It's guaranteed. I'm saying that, and I'll probably mess it up again somehow, but guaranteed, it's Friday when you're listening to our voices. And we just wanted to let you know how excited we are for season 4, episode 1, and to give you a clue, because episode 2 is going to be a live Sunday night show.
Mm-hmm.
So when you listen to episode 1 on Sunday night, you can mark your calendar down. The next Sunday night, we're going to be going live.
We are.
And with that, we've made a promise to go live with a cooking show.
Right.
And then we started thinking through all of the details. So it's going to be a live show set up in all of the lit beauty of what we can bring to a Sunday night. It's going to be live at 7 p.m. on Sunday. We're looking forward to seeing our regular live viewers attend, and I would say personally, get it out there, and we'd love to have a great audience. We'll speak to a variety of different topics. We'll open it up for questions. If you've got something that you've been wanting to, just ask questions about and things like that, feel free to think on your questions. And but what we're going to do is we're going to pre-record the actual cooking part.
Right. That's the way we had to work around with the sound and the lighting.
And motion and everything like that. Because not every studio is a kitchen studio.
Right.
And we do, although we are, if I use the word blessed, we've got great cameras for imagery and, and our sound and all that stuff. But the idea of how to get that mobile for us to be able to cook live. And so we're going to limit our little video feeds on our cooking and our segments to 7 to 12 minutes long. You can be able to watch some food prep, and then we're gonna have that for all to enjoy.
Yeah, and we want to put out, and as we mentioned in the episode, is we're also saying, what are some of the recipes, your go-tos, your things that you're saying, like crowd favorites, when people are coming over. What is it that you usually do? If you want to submit some of that, we would be happy to be able to talk about it.
Yeah, crowd favorite comfort.
Right.
That's what we're looking for.
Crowd favorite comfort.
Crowd favorite comfort. And we want to, technology-wise, we want to let you know, we'd love for you to take your recipe cards. We're hoping this is a community event. And so take out your favorite recipe, snap a picture of that recipe card, and whether you attach it into the memo of us shooting live, or we will at the time have our technology up and going, you can send that to us. And really it would work out best if they sent the recipe to cutdaisiesandunicorns@gmail.com.
Right.
And then we're going to be able to do our lovely picture-in-picture
just like that. And we'll put the recipe cards up, and people are like, yeah, I can't see that one very well. Well, then guess what I do? Then I'll put it to full screen, and we'll be able to have the recipe card. But we're also going to post those in our notes on Facebook and have that available so that and if you're watching us live on Facebook Live, then you have the Facebook app to be able to do that. But we would love, this is actually our first steps towards gathering recipes for the first Cut Daisies and Unicorns recipe book. And you've got the favorite recipe books that you reach for and that you pull down. And man, I tell you what, I got one about wore out, but it's still a good one. It was all my grandmother's favorite recipes. Wow. That was compiled by family members and brought together. And then for her birthday, then every family member got one of her recipe books. And I've carried that with me, and I use that recipe book at least twice a month. That's pretty good.
Well, and oftentimes 90% of the time I'm using it for one or two different recipes, but I use it. That's a good thing.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that we'll probably have to coordinate a little bit. I mean, because if we're looking at cooking, I mean, like if we're both doing a main dish, then we probably going to overload that. So maybe we should coordinate like with some comfort, like here's a main, here's some side, and maybe even a dessert. Who knows, you know?
Well, hey, I'm not a dessert dude.
You're not a dessert dude.
I don't make desserts.
I don't really make them either. So, but this might be
Nixay the dessert.
It might be a great time to venture into the dessert market.
All
right. I just have Caitlin. She likes to do desserts.
Oh, there you go.
So it's like, hey, we'll throw in, maybe something. Who knows?
Yeah. Who knows?
I mean, while we're filming the cooking, she may not be present. I don't know.
We're gonna have to see, folks. We start making promises, and then we figure out what hurdles we have to jump over, and then. But we are going to talk pairings. We're going to talk pairings about like, hey, if you're going to have this would be a good thing to go with, and we're and cross-referenced and be like, yeah. But Phil and I are both not showing up having fixed tacos.
Right.
That's another coordination part.
Right.
Yeah. But hopefully, like it hopefully this will tantalize, and there could be a couple other favorite. Who knows what this all works out to? We're going to be talking food. We're going to be talking about just the joy that comes from putting a meal together. We're hoping to expand the horizons on really how long does this take versus, and talk about in the realm of hospitality. What can you prep before you get to the table, and what things are good to go? So that's coming up on Sunday, October 17th at 7 p.m. And we just wanted to let you know that we were going to be able to go live. And we are keeping our conversation on the cooking in and around, but who knows what else will come out of that night.
Yeah, because you always know that something's going to come.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's always other areas that will be ventured into.
Yeah, especially since the trolls found us live and then started interjecting and all that stuff. So
that's true.
Yeah. But just wanted to let you know, Phil did make mention. We didn't really cover it on the podcast this week. So if you're looking for a Chicago weather update, that's not coming up on Sunday. Actually, we really didn't talk about current culture, quote unquote, like the latest things we've been watching. You'd be like, well, thank God, because that's the reason why we haven't been listening. You guys just go on and on and on about stuff we don't care about.
Right. Yeah. But we didn't. So I guess now is a good opportunity. It's been overcast for 3 days, and I don't know what it is. I'm still trying to dig into my physiology on this, but I get headaches. I don't have a lot of energy, even after I'd still work out on days that overcast.
Are you taking vitamin D?
No.
Okay.
Maybe work that in as a...
Since I'll be Dr. Steve right now.
Yeah.
And say, you may want to start a vitamin D regimen right now.
Okay.
Actually, my personal doctor told me that in Chicagoland, that 90% of the time when they do blood tests, they find a vitamin D deficiency in Chicagoland people.
Yeah.
And the lack of vitamin D is not good for you. So, I mean, we can talk about, we're like, if you listen to this podcast on Sunday, you're going to think that we've become naturalists and holists. And the reality is, I don't think that's true.
Yeah.
But hey, we're pulling out everything from the dandelion to a new conspiracy that we're going to look further into.
Right.
The fluoride conspiracy. We also talk about fentanyl and cocaine. We would not classify ourselves as a cocaine cowboys because neither one of us are wearing cowboy boots, although Phil does have kind of
somewhat of a
plaid-y cowboy shirt on. It's not really a cowboy shirt, but it's kind of it could get there quickly.
It could be in the family.
It's a lovely blue to match his eyes. Mm-hmm. Yes, oh, it's so beautiful. So, Trailer Friday. It's Trailer Friday. We're back.
We are back.
Same two dudes. As far as we know, we're still in the same universe.
As far as we know.
It's a different trip. It's a fresh start to season 4.
Mm-hmm. Seasoning.
You see what he did right there?
A little bit of additives.
Oh, man. Well, hey, we hope you're doing well. We know that life throws us curveballs, and really, it's not always about how you hit the curveball. Sometimes it's how you let it go right by.
Because oftentimes the curveball can be a ball, and you don't want to swing at balls.
It's true.
All right.
Welcome to the chase for the championship of the World Series in Major League Baseball.
Right. It's playoff season. October ball.
Yep. And don't really follow baseball. We talked about that wound in my life earlier. If you need to hear that, go to season 1. I'm pretty sure it's in there.
Somewhere in there.
It's somewhere deep in the archive. That's the cool thing, though, man. Mm-hmm. We get done with this. We got 40 episodes plus 40 trailers under our belt.
Right.
Gonna have to figure out our content.
We're gonna be seasoned. Seasoned podcasters.
Does that make us half-baked?
Sometimes.
That'll make more sense, too, as you're watching the beginning part. Or listening to it.
Right.
Hey, and by the way, for the record, can I tell you?
Yeah.
My prediction was correct. Mm-hmm. The aliens did not invade the Earth the weekend I was speaking of.
Exactly. So Steve is now a prognosticator.
I know I'm a procrastinator. I work most effectively after I've procrastinated.
Right.
I don't know about a prognosticator. I know I'm not a weatherman, and I know I'm not a doctor, so I can't practice that. But what I am practicing right now is predicting the future with alien invasion.
Right. So what about this weekend?
See, I was waiting for the question. I'm like, please ask me. Please.
So what do you think?
Well,
looking into the future.
So you were reading some headline highlights, and we know that there's a big gaseous ball heading towards the Earth.
Right.
And so I'm gonna go again with, I think that the probability of what our weekend holds is we have a greater probability of natural disaster than we do of alien invasion.
All right.
And just to let people know, if you want to see more about all that's going on with that, watch the Da Vinci Code and Angels and Demons. Mm-hmm. And that will give you a highlight into just some of the things that we've talked about in the past. Mm-hmm. Transformers 2, or not the second, but Transformers also speaks to some of these things. But yeah, I'm telling you, I watched Men in Black, and I'm pretty sure based on Will Smith's competent handling of the current alien issue, we're in good shape for this weekend.
All right. So there you have it, folks.
No alien invasion.
No aliens, but watch out for natural disasters.
But as the sound of my voice does reach into the universe and continues to carry, I'm just saying to the aliens, I'm okay with an encounter.
Steve speaks in the language of colors. He's ready.
I got my own like non-syllabic vocabulary.
There you go.
That I can click.
That's what you need.
And dot and dash. And yeah.
He's equipped. He's ready.
All right.
Which is probably the reason why you're able to see into the future and know that it's not going to be, wasn't a couple of weeks ago, and it's not this weekend either.
Well, that's my pick for this weekend.
Okay.
All right.
There you go. Take it to the bank, everybody.
Well, if you want numbers for the lottery, you could send us an email, and I will give you some of my favorite numbers. And I just want to let you know that, to my knowledge, none of them have ever won a Powerball.
There you go.
But this is, again, goes right to the important conversation about cocaine. And that is the survival rate for people who don't do cocaine is about 100%.
Right.
Yeah.
And the same thing for the lottery.
If you don't play, you don't win.
Yeah.
See, that's how the law of averages works. We're statistical geniuses here.
Right.
Sorry, Adam. Sorry that you thought we were so bad at math, but we're figuring out how to be really good at zeros.
And that's the way it works around here.
All right.
All right, everybody. Have a great rest of the weekend, and we will see you on Sunday.
Fire up for Friday. Do you know what's happening? Tonight, you will be able to watch the new James Bond movie.
Oh, I forgot about that.
That's happening. I mean, like, if people don't watch this because they're watching James Bond, I get it. But I think it's like Never Die or Never Let Die or something like that.
Something with die.
Yeah.
No Time to Die.
I'm telling you, we're having a James Bond party at my house.
That's good. We're all going to Steve's house for a James Bond party.
James Bond.
And we are going to be drinking martinis. Shaken, not stirred.
Yeah.
Or stirred, not I don't even remember which one.
I believe it's shaken, not stirred.
I thought so.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right, there we go. Something to look forward to.
What you do? Awkward silence finishes the trailer. We are committed to no awkward silences on Sunday. All right.
Okay. Take care, everybody.
See ya.